We're back with Dr. Rick Marshall, whose new book comes out tomorrow. It was back in Oslo, Drick, Time Warps, Time Wars, and I'm dead serious about this. Are you smoking? No, I'm making a balloon animal here. Or you can't smoke in the studio? Okay, no one told me that. Just, you can't. There are huge questions about why this interview is over because your producer told you not to bring that up. Okay, that's a fair question. No, it's not. Matt Lauer, the famous face who used to host the morning show, The Today Show, for millions of people, was admired for his long and successful career and seen as a symbol of power and success in the media. But behind the friendly smile and the image of America's boyfriend were darker secrets that were kept secret for over 20 years. At the height of his fame, few people could have imagined LA's shocking fall, a scandal so shocking that it broke the internet. Everything he had worked for was shattered by horrifying accusations, shocking hidden truths, and the sudden loss of his once bright spotlight. What could have happened to a man with such a solid career and long-lasting reputation to plunge into a never-ending storm of criticism from which he seemed to have no escape? Is there a chance for redemption and recovery, or is this the end of a broadcasting legend's story? Subscribe to our channel now and join us as we unravel the mysteries behind Matt. Matt Lauer was born on December 30, 1957 in New York City. He comes from a unique mix of two strong family traditions. His mother, Marilyn Lauer, owned a boutique known for her impeccable taste and keen sense of style, and his father, J. Robert Lauer, was an executive at a bicycle manufacturing company. From a young age, Matt was surrounded by people whose mother's creative spirit mixed with his father's practicality and discipline. This contrast would unknowingly lay the groundwork for his future success. However, not everything was perfect in the Lauer household. When Matt was only 10, his peaceful life was upended when his parents got divorced. The breakup of his family not only crushed his dreams, but also left deep emotional scars on the young boy's heart. Matt had to face the harsh reality of a broken home, and the experience changed how he saw relationships in his adult life, even though his parents were no longer together. After their parents got divorced, Matt and his older sister April Lowerstone, born 1953, worked hard to stay close and help each other through life's challenges. Matt grew up in Westchester County, New York, where his family moved around a lot, from quiet neighborhoods in Chappaqua to busier ones in Hartsdale. Matt's childhood was a constant journey of adaptation, as he had to get used to new places quickly. This constant moving not only taught him to fit in quickly, but it also made him a better person overall. It put him in new places and gave him a rounded view of life, which he later used in his career as a broadcaster. One of Matt's favorite childhood memories is living in Ardsley with Tom Carr, the founder of the famous Carr ice cream brand. On Halloween, Matt would eagerly anticipate getting free flying saucer ice cream treats from Carr or exploring the huge ice cream truck that was parked nearby. These brief but magical moments remained bright spots in his life. Matt held on to these things fondly during an otherwise difficult childhood. At Greenwich High School, Matt's love for media started to shine. Instead of doing typical teen things, he quickly joined the school's radio club and hosted his own radio show on the local station. This was more than just a hobby. It was his first real chance to show off his natural ability to connect with an audience. Those early radio broadcasts helped him get better at public speaking. After high school, Matt went to Ohio University to get a degree in communications at the prestigious Scripps College of Communication. His college years were not easy, but they were very helpful in building his foundation in broadcasting. He worked as a DJ for campus radio programs, honing his voice and his ability to get his point across clearly. But deep down, Matt still wanted to leave the AHA to follow his dream of working in television. Matt made the brave decision to drop out of college a few credits short of graduation in 1979. This may have surprised many, but for Matt, it was the right thing to do. The years that followed of relentless hard work, enduring pressure, and overcoming doubts turned him from a hopeful young man into a fiercely driven individual willing to sacrifice everything for success early in his career. You all knew the kind, generous, and thoughtful side of Matt Lauer. After dropping out of Ohio University in 1979, he bravely entered the world of television, determined that nothing would stop him. He began at WOW TV, a small station in Huntington, West Virginia, where he did an unpaid internship, willing to do any job to learn the craft and prove himself. In those early days, Matt worked behind the scenes without complaining, instead seizing every chance to do something great. To improve his broadcasting skills and get experience, Matt worked hard and was noticed right away. Within a year, he was moved to producer, and soon after made his first TV appearance as a reporter for the station's 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. newscasts. This was his real start as a TV host, and he quickly won over viewers with his calm demeanor, warm voice, and interesting way of breaking the news. Matt's success at WKTV led to even bigger opportunities. As a result, he quickly became one of the station's most popular personalities and began to get the attention of bigger network. The 1980s were a blur for Matt as he moved from reporting to hosting jobs at local stations all along the East Coast, including WWTV in New York City and WNYW-TV, where he hosted daily news shows and talk shows. It was during this time that he developed a style of hosting that was both confident and approachable, which made him stand out. Matt kept a professional and interesting presence that kept viewers hooked, whether he was reporting on serious news stories or lighter entertainment segments. However, his career wasn't always smooth. Many of the shows he hosted were canceled, and he often faced the possibility of losing his job. These setbacks only made him stronger, turning him from a young reporter with little experience into a host ready to take on any challenge. In 1986, Matt was given a special opportunity to work with Unity to produce a documentary about his life. Matt's career continued to grow when he moved back to New York in 1989 and became the host of 9 Broadcast Plaza, a show about the people and events that made New York City unique. The show only aired for a short time, but it left an impression on viewers and raised his profile. He then went on to co-host Fame, Fortune, and Romance, an ABC daytime entertainment show that showed how versatile and adaptable he was in the broadcasting industry, a 3-hour live show on WWTV. This job gave him more exposure and caught the attention of even bigger TV producers. With his adaptable style and great communication skills, Matt proved he was not only a talented host, but also a dynamic figure who could draw in a large audience whenever he appeared on screen. The next big turning point in Matt's career came in the early 1990s, when the Kushner Law Company asked him to host Day in Court, a trial-run show. The show didn't achieve the hoped-for success. It was a big step towards solidifying Matt's place in the entertainment world. During these years, he kept working on his craft and became known as a host who could handle any type of content. Matt's hard work finally paid off when he caught the attention of NBC in 1992. He joined the network and became the host of Today in New York on WNBC, NBC's local New York station. This was the start of a new era in Matt's career, and he went from an ambitious Matt Lauer, went from being a reporter to one of the most well-known and loved faces on national television in just a few short years. He started his journey to the top of his field when he joined NBC in 1992 as the host of Today in New York on WNBC, where he quickly showed off his amazing talent. A year later, in 1993, he also started co-hosting Live at 5 with Sue Simmons, which solidified his growing reputation for his confident professional demeanor and strong ability to connect with people. Fans made him one of NBC's most famous personalities. In 1994, Matt's career took a huge step forward when he was hired as the newsreader for The Today Show, the most famous morning show in the United States. In this role, he not only delivered the news, but also showed off his great communication skills by thinking quickly during live broadcasts and making guests and viewers feel at ease. This made Matt a familiar and trusted face for millions of Americans every morning by 1997. Matt really reached the peak of his career when he became co-anchor of The Today Show, taking over for Bryant Gumbel. Along with Katie Couric, Meredith Vieira, and Ann Curry, he helped make the show a huge hit for over 20 years. It was not only a place for daily news, but also for in-depth interviews and human interest stories that touched people's hearts. Under Matt's direction, The Today Show stayed as one of the most popular shows on TV. Matt Lauer was the host of one of America's most popular morning shows, often getting the most viewers. He did a lot of high-profile interviews with some of the world's most important people, from U.S. presidents like George W. Bush and Barack Obama to British royalty like Prince William and Prince Harry. Each interview was marked by his finesse and skill, leaving an impression on viewers. One of the highlights of Matt Lauer's career was the annual feature called Where in the World is Matt Lauer? From 1998 to 2011 that took viewers to beautiful and important places around the world like the Kingdom of Bhutan, Easter Island, the Panama Canal, and the Great Wall of China. Matt reported from places that most people could only dream of visiting. The creativity and grandeur of this segment made it an important part of the Today Show, bringing in big audiences and boosting his worldwide reputation. Not only was Matt Lauer known for his creative parts, but also for doing controversial interviews. One of the most famous was with Famous in 2005. Matt had a heated conversation with Tom Cruise in which they argued about psychiatry and postpartum depression. Cruise even called Matt glib, which made the interview a turning point in Matt's career. He also faced criticism after interviews with the 2016 presidential candidates, where he was accused of unfairly handling questions from Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Despite the controversy, these interviews added to the Today Show's appeal and kept the show in the public eye. Matt also co-hosted the Matlow, hosted the opening ceremonies of several Olympic Games, including the 2008 Summer Olympics, the 2010 Winter Olympics, and the 2012 Summer Olympics, along with hosts like Meredith Vieira and Bob Costas. These events showed off Matt's versatility and on-the-spot reporting skills as he covered everything from sports highlights to inspiring stories of the world's best athletes. Matt Lauer's contributions went beyond hosting. He also did charitable work and received many prestigious awards. He won Emmys and other awards for his work in journalism, and he also volunteered for many social causes, especially in education and children's health. He was praised for using his fame to help those in need, which increased his impact during the height of his career. The years Matt spent at the top of his field made him a broadcasting icon, and millions of Americans looked to him every morning. But despite his fame, there were troubling secrets hiding behind the scenes. While Matt's story doesn't end with the successes he achieved, the heavy price of fame would later play out in a series of scandals that would shake the foundations of the illustrious career he had built over decades. Scandals and downfall. Matt Lauer's illustrious career was tied to the NBC Today Show for over 20 years. He was a familiar face on American television, exuding confidence and dependability, but behind his polished exterior and successful career lay a darkness that no one saw coming. As the truth came out, Matt's reputation was ruined forever, and problems started to show up in his career. One of the most controversial moments happened in June 2005 during an interview with Tom Cruise. The exchange got heated when Cruise accused Matt of being glib in a passionate debate about psychiatry and postpartum depression. This incident not only hurt Matt's image, but it also left a lasting impression of how confrontational he could be when interviewing people. When Matt interviewed Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in a live political forum in 2016, he was criticized for spending too much time questioning Clinton about her email scandal while failing to question Trump on his false statements. Viewers and critics accused him of bias and lack of assertiveness, which caused widespread backlash. These interviews not only hurt his credibility, but also made the public's pressure on him even stronger. It wasn't just the controversial interviews. Matt was also said to have NBC behind the scenes. One of the most shocking claims was that he set up the firing of his co-anchor on the Today Show, Anish Curry. In 2012, Curry was fired from the show in a shocking way. A humiliating exit, and several sources said that Matt had used his power to make it happen with the help of executive producer Jim Bell in a secret operation called Bambi. These rumors made Matt look like he abused his power at work, but these problems and tensions were only the surface of a much bigger problem. On November 29, 2017, NBC announced that Matt L.A. had been fired suddenly after a female co-worker accused him of sexual misconduct during the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. The inappropriate behavior continued even after she returned to New York, leaving her in a state of fear and trauma. NBC said that while this was the first official complaint, they thought it was possible that Matt had engaged in misconduct many times before his firing. Over the years, several women have come forward with stories of Matt's inappropriate behavior. A Variety article revealed shocking details about how he used his power to put pressure on female co-workers. One woman said that Matt sent her a sex toy with a note explaining how he planned to use it on her. Another woman said that he once exposed himself to her and got angry when she didn't comply. A former NBC employee said that Matt assaulted her in his office using a special button under his desk to lock the door and then forced her to perform a sexual act. Brooke Neville, a former NBC producer who wrote about her experience in Ronan Farrow's book Catch and Kill, made the most shocking claims. She said Matt assaulted her at the Sochi Olympics while she was heavily drunk and unable to give consent. He forced her into anal sex despite her clear objections. Neville described the incident as a nightmare that left her in pain and bleeding for days afterward. These claims shock the public and shed light on a system that doesn't work right. Matt Lauer's scandal quickly became a defining moment of the Me Too movement, inspiring many other victims to speak out and share their painful stories. Once a shining star of morning TV, Matt became a glaring example of the dangers of abusing power. The scandals destroyed his image, turning him from a media hero to a figure of public ridicule. The consequences of Matt's misconduct were severe. He lost his career reputation, family, and friends who once looked up to him and cherished him. His fall was not only a sad personal story, but also a sobering reminder of responsibility and the cost of abuse. It was a wake-up call for the media industry and society as a whole, showing that the truth will eventually come out and those who abuse their power will face justice. Life after the scandal. The 2017 sexual misconduct scandal ended Matt Lauer's career tragically, but it also had a number of severe and lasting effects on his personal life. After being fired from the Today Show, Matt went from being one of the most trusted faces on American TV to a public pariah. His career was in ruins and his relationships started to fall apart. Matt faced harsh criticism from both the public and his former co-workers. The sexual harassment claim made him an outcast in the media industry, and it became a symbol of power abuse in the workplace. Matt couldn't get back into the field he had once dominated. No producer was willing to take a chance on there were big financial effects as well, even though Matt made tens of millions of dollars from his NBC contracts. His divorce from Annette Rowe cost him a lot of money. In addition to the $20 million settlement he had to pay, he also had to share custody of their children and divide their assets. Matt used to own a lot of expensive properties, but he had to sell some of them, including his fancy Hamptons estate. These changes not only messed up his life, but they also cost him dearly, also forced him to live a simpler life than he was used to. Socially, Matt Lauer felt very alone because many close friends who had once supported him turned their backs on him. Katie KCK, his longtime co-worker and once close friend, publicly expressed her disappointment in Matt in her memoir, saying that she was shocked by his behavior. Matt felt deeply betrayed by her words, so he withdrew and stopped talking to old friends to avoid more pain, even co-workers who had once stood by him. Al Roker and others said they didn't want to talk about Matt Lauer anymore, even though they had worked together for years. Since the scandal, Matt's life has been quiet and lonely. He has chosen to live alone, dividing his time between his home in the Hamptons and occasional trips to New Zealand to avoid media attention. He can be seen walking or shopping, but he stays away from the public and is guarded. Sources say he feels a heavy burden and is sensitive whenever his name comes up in the press. People are always judging and criticizing Matt Lauer for his fall, but there's no denying that his scandal was a turning point in the Term 2 movement. The accusations against him not only marked the end of a TV star, but they also served as a wake-up call about power abuse in the workplace for Matt. Even though he's been trying to put his life back together, the shame of his past seems impossible to escape, making full recovery seem forever out of reach. Matt L's career has been controversial, and his personal life has been full of ups and downs, marked by troubled relationships and family problems. He has been married twice, but it was his second marriage to Dutch model Annette Rowe that caused the most trouble and scandal. Matt met Annette on a setup date in 1997, and their relationship quickly grew. Just 5 months later, Matt proposed, and they were married in a fancy ceremony in Bridgehampton, New York, on October 3, 1998. Matt was 41 years old at the time. Annette was only 30 years old, and she and Matt had 3 children together: Jack in 2001, Romy in 2003, and Tiz in 2006. On the outside, they seemed like the perfect family, but the truth was much more complicated. Their marriage was plagued by rumors of infidelity. Many sources said Matt had many affairs during their marriage, though he always denied the claims. And things reached a boiling point in 2006 when Annette, pregnant with their youngest son, filed for divorce. In her papers, Annette accused Matt of cheating on her husband Matt of cruel and inhumane treatment, saying that he frequently caused her mental anguish and left her emotionally and physically distressed. She also said that he was very controlling and hostile, which put a lot of stress on their relationship. Annette later dropped the divorce petition, and the couple got back together for a while, but close friends say that Annette never really found happiness in the marriage, and that she thought about leaving Matt several times, but chose to stay for the sake of their children. Because she wanted to protect her kids from the pain of a broken home, Annette always tried to keep the family together. A source said that despite her best efforts, the cracks in their relationship got worse in 2016. Rumors of Matt's alleged affair with co-worker Natalie Morales made things even worse, even though both Matt and Natalie strongly denied the accusations. For Annette, this was the breaking point after years of suspicion and disappointment. In the years before Matt's scandal, the couple was said to have lived mostly separate lives. Matt's firing and public shame over sexual misconduct allegations in 2017 was the final blow that ended their marriage. Annette decided she could no longer handle the situation and filed for divorce in 2018, almost 2 years after the allegations came to light. The divorce was finalized in July 2019, ending a marriage that had lasted over 20 years. Matt reportedly agreed to a substantial $20 million divorce settlement. Annette got a settlement, and the couple agreed to share custody of their children. The scandal not only destroyed their family's happiness, but it also left their children with lasting emotional wounds. Jack Romy and T.I. had to accept that their father's name would always be linked with bad behavior and news stories. The children felt a deep sense of loss and hurt as they saw their family fall apart, but Matt has stayed involved in their lives, trying to provide for them. They are still together today. Matt lives quietly with his girlfriend Shaman, who works in public relations. The couple stays out of the public eye to avoid media attention. They were friends for years before they started dating in 2019, and Shaman has been there for Matt in his darkest times. They often go to the Hamptons or New Zealand to find peace, but Matt has no plans to move there. As long as Shaman's job keeps her in the US, they will be together. Their relationship is stable and growing, but they want to keep it private and aren't in a hurry to get married. And life and legacy, after surviving the scandal, Matt Lauer's life isn't nearly as exciting or glamorous as it was when he was at the top of the media world. He used to be a figure of great influence and public adoration, but now he lives alone in the For someone who used to live in the fast-paced, high-profile world of broadcasting, this quiet way of life is a big change. His days are filled with simple things like going for walks, taking care of the horse farm he still co-manages with his ex-wife Annette Rug, and working on rebuilding his relationship with his children. He also continues to date Shaman Abuz, a public relations executive. Shaman has been a constant in Matt's life during his divorce. During his darkest years, they gave him the support and understanding he desperately needed as most of his social connections fell apart. However, the scandal's scars are still visible every time Matt goes out in public. The judgmental looks and media coverage of his tainted past make it impossible for him to escape the shadow of his former self, even though he tries to fit back in by going to small events and keeping a small group of friends. These efforts have not erased the stigma that comes up whenever Matt is seen by the press. Resurfaces with news stories that bring up memories of the scandal and keep the past alive. Matt Lauer probably won't be going back to work in the media industry. There are still rumors that he may be quietly working on new projects or planning a comeback, but most producers and media outlets don't want to work with someone who is seen as an example of power abuse at work, even with the help of friends like Bryant Gumbel. The damage to Matt's reputation seems irreparable, and it doesn't look like he will ever be seen on TV again. Matt Lauer was once one of the most famous people in American broadcasting. He was great at hosting and captivating interviews that made history on The Today Show, and his high-profile interviews still stand as proof of his undeniable talent. But now, his legacy is overshadowed by accusations of unacceptable behavior in the Number Me Too movement, which led to a widespread reckoning with Matt Lauer's sexual harassment, has made him a cautionary figure, a reminder that justice may be delayed but will not be denied. Questions about redemption and the possibility of clearing his name still remain unanswered. Matt has lost his job, his marriage, and most of his important relationships. Is there a way for him to find real peace? Some people think he needs to take full responsibility and publicly express deep regret. Others think that Matt Lauer will forever live under the cloud of his mistakes and scandals, unable to find a way out. Because of his painful past, Matt Lauer's legacy shows that abusing power can bring down even the most powerful people, and that fame can't protect anyone from the consequences of wrongdoing. While his life is now full of regret and loss, he will always be remembered as a symbol of the highs and lows of the media industry. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a review and let us know what you think so you don't miss out on more fun videos. See you in the next one.